Innovating for Tomorrow, Sustainable Strategies in MedTech.
My name is Raisa. I'm the managing partner at Longevity Venture Partners. We're a $30 million focused longevity fund, very heavy towards health tech and med tech. And I'm going to let the panelists introduce themselves, and we'll dive into some questions about financial sustainability in med tech. Lucas?
Thank you, Raisa, for inviting us today in this brilliant and inspirational city, Dubai City. I'm very, very glad to be here today. It's a big pleasure to meet you all. I'm Lucas Perez. I'm a medical and strategic expert in the field of aging solutions, aging technologies, and I'm also board advisor of Life Plus, that is providing AI tool and AI services for the senior population, like that watch. And this population is very interesting when you talk about healthcare, disruptive and innovative solutions. And good news, we just raised €3 million this month for developing our technology, for assisting this type of people, senior population living in hospitals, especially in geriatric units, but also in nursing homes and senior service residences. Thanks.
Congratulations. Ranjan?
Thank you, Reza. We are literally shining a light on this topic, no? Hi, I'm Ranjan Singh. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Health Hero. Health Hero is a London-based pan-European digital telehealth platform. We are present in 4 countries, UK, Ireland, France, and Germany. We cover 30 million lives of patients. And last year, we delivered 5 million consultations through a network of 4,500 clinicians that we have. And that makes us the largest primary care provider in Europe, whether digital or traditional. So what am I doing at a MedTech conference? Essentially, we've started looking at partnering or acquiring MedTech players and using that to build chronic care pathways. So that's what we do a lot these days.
Very interesting. So let's dive into the topic. Ranjan, you're up first. What would you say are the top 3 things you think about when thinking about financial sustainability for your venture specifically and MedTech ventures in general?
See, 2020 and 21 were like the dot-com boom for the digital health sector. For those of you of sufficiently mature vintages will remember that time. I certainly do. So there was a lot of, to steal a phrase, irrational exuberance at that time, and we all had to adapt through, the peak, which, forced us to adopt different strategies, growth at any cost, to now far more sustainable in terms of how we do business. So for me, one of the things that, not part by design, but mostly by accident, we found ourselves in a good spot. We were neither overcapitalized, like some of our competition. Babylon had raised 1.2 billion, Cree about 800 million, nor were we undercapitalized. So we raised $250 million, and so we could go through the pivot and transition of this change in strategy. And then that is, overcapitalization is as bad as undercapitalization. So that is one way I do think about it. Most of the time, entrepreneurs don't have the luxury to decide how much they want to be capitalized. Many academics will say that you should do this, but real life gets in. So that's in general for us. We are very focused on sustainable growth. That we are getting revenues with healthy gross margin, which feeds the heads that we employ 800 people. So we have many mouths to feed, if you will. So we need healthy gross margin, and we focus on that. Coming to MedTech in particular, what I see, I've seen a number, dozens, if not over 100 companies, where 5 highly talented, I'm just using number 5, people get with PhDs and over 5 years build this phenomenal clinical IP, but almost zero commercialization. Okay, so when it comes to MedTech, I would really encourage founders to think about, how do you commercialize this? Who pays for this? how do you get that dollar coming in? And I find that not to be the focus. Clinical purity is a lot of focus in MedTech, but not the commercial savvy, right? That's one. Two, I see, and then this is MedTech, but also in general, people talk about TAM a lot, total addressable market. And you know what? Healthcare is such a big market that it runs into tens of billions, if not hundreds. But then why are you barely doing 100,000 in ARR, right? If it's such a big TAM. So I think total addressable market, I focus on a different kind of TAM, true addressable market. How do you get a part of that, which is your true market? That's the second thing I'd like entrepreneurs to be honest to themselves about, that what market they're going after. Third is time. When you're raising money, you need to educate your investors that this is unlike any other digital thing, that you launch something tomorrow and you keep getting this hockey stick of growth and stuff. Ain't gonna happen like that, doesn't happen like that. You need to provide that clinical validation and stuff. And I think what they struggle is they raise money on this promise and hype, and then things don't happen for 5 years and investors lose patience and it's a downward spiral. So those are the things I'd highlight in this area.
Absolutely. Especially about sort of having to backfill your valuation. Entrepreneurs can put themselves in a very compromising position. On one hand, it's a good problem to have if people are, throwing money at you. On the other hand, backfilling your valuation from day one is really a big problem. And definitely what you said about long time to market and patient capital, those are things that are very important in the MedTech space. So over to you, Lucas. What are your top 3 things?
So as an entrepreneur, I would like to say that it is very important to be a good communicator, a good storyteller in order to sell your solutions. In the field of aging, it's not difficult, but it's quite particular. When you talk to the senior populations and people that buy these type of solutions, like the family or like an hospitals, for example. So it's very important, even if you are in B2C or the B2B market, you have to be a good communicator. For me, it's very important. The second point I would like to raise is the fact that legal issues are very important, especially when you have to protect your ID, you have to protect your know-how, because we develop, for example, for a case, we develop artificial intelligence tools and a sort of savoir-faire, a sort of expertise, and it took time to produce this type of services. So I think that the secret, the privacy, all the contracts, all the consulting services that you could pay in order to protect your ID is very, very determining in the development of your project. And don't hesitate to pay for lawyers or consulting firms. It's very important. And the third thing from me is about the vision. You have to have a realistic vision of your market with achievable goals. It's very important. Regarding the market we are targeting, for example, the goals are very high. The aging market for Europe by 2025 is estimated at 5.7 trillion euro. It's a huge market. It's a massive market for sure. But you have to play right in this field. For example, your positioning is very important. For now, we are a B2B positioning with hospitals, but also nursing homes. But we could go to another market in the future, and it will be something great for us. Yeah.
Great, thank you so much. We want to move to the topic of fundraising. As an investor, I see lots of companies, and I've noticed that the best entrepreneurs are ones that sort of take a data-driven approach to fundraising. You know, there are 400 applicable VCs, and we're going to reach out to X amount. In the first 2 weeks, we'll set X amount of meetings, then 6 to 8 weeks of due diligence. We'll get some competing term sheets and create that sense of FOMO, which is really the only thing that motivates investors to move quickly. I'm wondering what your approaches to fundraising are. Ranjan, you're up first.
See, we've been very fortunate that, you know, we've had a cornerstone investor. So I came into this, as we were discussing over coffee, through the private equity route. So as a private equity investor myself, is a mid-market fund, 3 to 4 billion euros of assets under management called Markol, with a big focus on healthcare. That is where I built the thesis for Health Hero. And then I transitioned. We bought 7 companies, put them together. And once those acquisitions were done, I transitioned to running it as founder and CEO. So it's a very different story. I mean, it's not like I can guide people to take this path. Is quite uncommon. I got super lucky. So someone said the other day, so you're writing your own checks. So not completely true, but it was a bit like that. So we were bankrolled and are still cornerstone investors, Markol, and we've gone through that. But look, in my previous life, I was a more conventional entrepreneur who went through seed, Series A, and then that kind of stuff. And of course, you've got to kiss many frogs to get your prince, which is what your data-driven approach is saying. So I'd agree to that. I'd add to that a few things, right? I find it quite refreshing if entrepreneurs are a bit contrarian, right? Where every entrepreneur goes and talks this big game and big TAM and this hockey stick growth and so on. I find entrepreneurs who have taken an approach of saying, look, and these are second-time, third-time entrepreneurs who typically I see do that. They're very confident in themselves and say, look, ultimately I'm taking this approach. You'll not see a hockey stick, but I will meet this plan. It may not be the most exciting business plan that you see, but I'll deliver on it. It'll get done. So that credibility that gets established is quite refreshing through that approach. Yeah.
Lucas?
Without hesitation, to seduce an investor, I think it's very important to have a robust economic model, business model, not the business plan, the business model. How you create value, how you create a therapeutic value through your products, through your service. It's very determining when you talk to an investors. And we thought that because we worked a lot of the project's impact of our solutions about, for example, the therapeutic value, because we work a lot of functional tools for those who knows the sectors, the aging sectors. We talk about frailty, we talk about sarcopenia, and all these terms are not very easy to understand for the investors. So you need to bring with you, for example, a doctor, a medical specialist, to try to highlight what is the purpose of your solutions and what is the project's impact of your solutions on therapeutic purpose, but also on environmental or medical purpose. So I think that the project's impact is very important when you want to raise money toward an investors.
Great. Let's talk about something that's not usually discussed on the entrepreneurial side. Are we out of time? Oh, we're out of time. That was fast. Okay. Well, thank you, everyone. Thank you to everyone. Thank you to our panelists for joining us.
Thank you. Short and sweet.